Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's Victor's Vision, and welcome to the channel. Make sure you guys subscribe if you want to catch the latest Michigan football news. I'm always trying to keep it up to date with all the transfer players, making sure I get all their highlights up so you guys can know right away who's going to be playing for Michigan next season. So make sure you guys hit that sub button. So there was a point in the 2024 football season for Michigan where it was kind of a lost cause, but starting in November, the team did probably the greatest 180 I've seen in a long time with this team, which was land one of the best quarterback prospects of all time, beating Ohio State on the road in a game they had no reason winning, and then beating Alabama in a bowl game they had no reason winning. And despite all this promise and seeing great players step up late in the season, especially on the defensive side of the ball, one question looms over Michigan that I think a lot of people are thinking: who is going to be the starting quarterback for next year? So today I wanted to break down A, what I think the team is going to do, and B, what I hope that they do. So there's four main candidates for this job. You have the returning senior Davis Warren on his last year of eligibility. You have Jaden Davis, who's a redshirt freshman who has barely seen the field at all. You have transfer quarterback Mikey Keene in his last year of eligibility, who came from Fresno State. And then, of course, you have the five-star phenom, Bryce Underwood. Now, running through all these guys, I would say if we started Davis Warren, that would be worst-case scenario. We know how good Davis Warren is. He has played in big games for Michigan. He probably knows the system better than all the other candidates so far. But I would be pretty mad if we were starting Davis Warren. But I do think it's pretty unlikely, given the fact that he tore his ACL. And quite frankly, I think Mikey Keene, as a senior quarterback, is better than Davis Warren. For Jaden Davis, I'm a little bit worried about him on where he's going to be with this team in the long term, if he's ever going to start for this team. Because yes, he is a four-star recruit from last season. Yes, he wanted to remain a redshirt, but in that Alabama game, I was expecting him to come in at some point, especially after Davis Warren went down, but we put in Alex Orji. So I don't know where Michigan feels with Jaden Davis, if it's a matter of him just not being that good. Is there something that we don't see as fans that the coaching staff sees, that he's just not ready, he's not good enough? I don't know where he's going to be. And this leaves me with the last two candidates, which I hope that they start for the next season, and that is Mikey Keene and Bryce Underwood. While Mikey Keene is not an absolute stud at the quarterback position, I will say, after watching a lot of film while he was playing at Fresno State, he is marginally better than Davis Warren in a lot of aspects in his game. He may not be the tallest quarterback, but his ability to run the play action pass, as well as rolling out and throwing on the run, I think is much better than Davis Warren. Also, one thing that we didn't see last season from Davis Warren is airing the ball out really deep. And Mikey Keene, while he's not super accurate long range, at least he has the confidence to at least attempt those types of passes. So I do think Mikey Keene will start going into next season, especially early on. And I also believe Bryce Underwood will see the field quite a bit next season as well. If you rewind the clock back to 2021, when we had a freshman, J.J. McCarthy, and a Cade McNamara, who was a little bit more developed at the time. We had Cade McNamara start for most of the games, but whether the game was so high and out of reach that Michigan was going to win regardless, we would see J.J. McCarthy take the field. Or let's say Cade McNamara was playing bad, J.J. McCarthy would come in and he would honestly play better than Cade McNamara. So my thing is, given that the schedule next season for a lot of the games, I mean, we're playing New Mexico, Central Michigan, things like that, I would expect Bryce to play quite a bit of games going into next season. Given that the running back core is going to look pretty nice, Jordan Marshall as well as Justice Haynes, two running backs that, in my opinion, that running back core is better than the 2024 one, as well as a older offensive line. He's not going to have to air the ball out too much, but I think Bryce Underwood can ease into that Michigan starting position, especially by the end of the season. And obviously the biggest game of the season next year is going to be against Ohio State. So hopefully by the end of the season, Bryce will be more developed and ready to handle that sort of task. But I do think that most likely, I would think Mikey Keene and Bryce are probably going to be the main two guys that are going to be starting going into the next season. That's at least who I want. Like I said, similar to the 2021 situation. And then by 2022, no doubt is Bryce going to be starting for the entirety of that season. So I think it kind of works out. Obviously, I'd want a better bridge quarterback than Mikey Keene. I know Miller Moss was kind of in there. Billy Edwards from Maryland was also in the mix too. But, you know, Mikey Keene is I still think he's marginally better than Davis Warren. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad situation at the quarterback position. It at least will be better than last season. I mean, last season was a complete disaster at the quarterback position, so I don't think it'll be that bad. So Let me know what you guys think. Who do you think they should start at the quarterback position going into next season? Me personally, I say Mikey Keene and Bryce Underwood, but you guys can let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later.